Where is all this going? All this kind of almost lawless behaviour in the city. Where are we heading?
Vice land. That's what we're going to call New York City, Vice land.
Curtis, what brought you to the area of Jackson Heights in Corona today for this rally?
Well, we've been in Corona before 108th when they used to give out Chica cards right before the entrances to the trains, where you would see a drop-dead gorgeous model from Vogue, and then you say, is this the woman that if I follow you to a nearby apartment building we get? Yes, see. It was all a ruse, but now it's out in the open. It's like a red light district, like we've had in Hamburg, in Amsterdam. I have guardian angels here. This is not a red light district. It is an area of families and children and the elderly, and they don't want this here, and they're protesting. And I'm supporting their right to protest against all those idiot elected officials like Tiffany Caban, who would like to see this legalized and would like to see these men, women, and transgenders walking up and down the street selling themselves. That is crazy.
And so have you been in this neighbourhood over the last few decades, and how has it changed, and have you taken a walk along the neighbourhood recently, and what are your own thoughts and what you face when you walk along the streets here?
Oh, I've been in Corona, Jackson Heights, Elmhurst for years, and it's changed from originally what it was Irish, and then slowly but surely Hispanics, a lot of migrants. Then you had not only people from India, Little New Delhi, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. It's the most mixed area in all of Queens, which is the most mixed borough. But this kind of tolerance for the illegal activity by the mayor, who said he was going to do something by this, we're still waiting, by the cops, who I say are on the take, they're getting paid off. Come on. I've been doing this for 44 years. I know when cops are on the take because they figure nobody cares. This is Jackson Heights. This is Corona. Nobody cares, but people do care. And the corrupt cops have got to take responsibility for turning their eyes, because when they've done this before, they're usually getting money for it.
Do you think the cops aren't enforcing laws maybe because they're not going to get the support from the hierarchy, or what do you think is the reason?
In this case, there's big money involved. And this has existed before all through the history of New York City. When prostitution operates openly, whether it's in an apartment building, whether it's in the back of a bar or a restaurant, or right now, right out in the streets, how the hell could you say the cops aren't being permitted to do anything? Arrest them over and over, and arrest the Johns who come in. If you arrest the Johns, they won't come back. They come off the 7 train because they say, oh, this is the red light district. And then they walk up to regular women who are not prostitutes, and they perv on them, and they perv on their daughters. Hey, would the cops allow that to happen in their neighborhoods? Hell no. So I don't want to hear that they're not permitted to do their job. They get paid, do your job. Padlock these houses of prostitution and lock up the Johns. If you lock up the Johns, the prostitutes will have no business.
Another issue here is the unauthorized vendors. The streets, you could see as you walk down, there's vendors almost everywhere blocking the streets. A lot of the people here I spoke to before, they're complaining that it's unsafe. What are your own thoughts on the unauthorized vendors and the politicians' reaction to the unauthorized vendors?
Oh, well, last year I dealt with that on Fordham Road in the Bronx. Same situation, unauthorized vendors. I used to be a night manager at McDonald's right there. I know that unauthorized vendors kill standard businesses because they don't have to pay payroll taxes. They don't have to do anything that a normal mom and pop brick and mortar shop would have to do. Now, you want to figure out a way to license them and keep them all in an area like a flea market? Fine. You can't let them just openly operate with impunity, especially some of the products that they're selling are on the down low. Let's face it. You're taking a chance in buying some of their products because they haven't been checked for quality and for the ability to make sure that you don't end up getting sick or you don't end up having a problem as a result of buying their products that are, let's face it, they're right out of the black market.
Where is all this going? All this kind of almost lawless behavior in the city. Where are we heading?
Vice land. That's what we're going to call New York City, Vice land. So whatever is a vice that people like, they'll be able to come to New York City. Apparently, it's the only thing that will attract people in New York City any longer is vice, because everything else is shut down. Everything else is falling into the abyss. So you'll know you'll be able to come here, openly use drugs, nothing's going to happen to you. Openly go up to illegal vendors, nothing's going to happen to you. And if all of a sudden you're looking for a date, who's going to take you around the world in 80 seconds? Hey, you have your choice. Men, women, transgenders, out in the open, morning, noon, and night. No. Not in New York City. New York City is not Viceland.
In terms of the migrant crisis, you've been at various rallies. You've been arrested a number of times. You've been out in Staten Island. That seems to be one borough that's kind of pushing back against the migrant crisis. Will you give me an update as to what's been going on there? Or where you currently stand in that situation?
Well, you forgot. It all started outside of Creedmoor. I led another rally on Friday night of mothers, grandmothers, and children and grandchildren. No, this is a citywide effort, except Manhattan doesn't seem to want to protest, so good. All the migrants can live there in the hotels with their plasma TVs, with their PlayStations that we pay for. We're for legal immigration. And there are a lot of people in this area who had to wait. They still have relatives and others who are waiting to come in. How the hell do you all of a sudden give somebody an easy pass to avoid all the regulations? What does that say to the first generation legal immigrants? But you're a bunch of suckers. And that's because these politicians, Democrats or Republicans, they don't care. I trust people. I don't trust politicians.
In terms of the migration crisis, do you think this is coming from the president's administration? It's being allowed to happen, or what is going on here?
Look, this is historical. When the Irish came over during the potato famine, when the English basically told them, F you, die Irish, because they hated the Irish, they came to Lower Manhattan. The first group to meet them was the Irish Democrats. That was Tammany Hall. They gave him some money, they gave him a place to live, and they said, always remember us, we were there, because the Republicans at that time were WASP, and they hated the Irish, and they hated the Catholics. And for generations, Irish will tell you, I vote Democrat. You know why? Not really, but it's part of our family tradition. They did it before, the Dems, they'll do it again, and in the future. This group of illegals who will become legalized at some point with anchor babies or women that they've married who are green card holders or Americans will be grateful to the Democrats till the ends of time and will tell their children and great-grandchildren, always vote Democrat. That's what this is all about.
The mayor made some remarks during the week. He was saying that it's the migrant crisis. He's never witnessed something like this before, that he couldn't see a solution, and I think it's going to destroy New York City. A bit of a roundabout turn on his part, maybe. What are your own thoughts on those comments from Mayor Adams?
Well, he's the swagger man with no plan. That's why 1 minute he says another thing that contradicts. First he blamed the Democrats in Washington. The next day he blamed Trump Republicans. Hey, I don't blame anybody but Eric Adams. He welcomed him. He said, come one, come all. We're a sanctuary city. And now he's created this mess and he wants to walk away from it. Hey, you're the mayor. Do your job. We're not a sanctuary city. It's not a law. You can end it tomorrow. But he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too. Meantime, we all get screwed.
You think there's a quick solution to it just by ending the sanctuary city status?
Oh, sure. I would. What I would do as a compromise is bring them out to Rikers Island, where I've been housed many times in the past, so I know what's on the inside of those jails. There are a lot of empty buildings, 400 acres, put tents there, vet these people. They don't go anywhere, provide them everything they need, find out if they have criminal records in their country of origin or while they were here, get them medically fit, give them all their vaccines, 6 months expired, now they can go out and get a job. I think that's a proper compromise.